There comes a time in every journey when the path forward requires leaving something behind. For those chosen by God, this moment is not just a decision, it is a calling. To walk away from chaos, dysfunction, and anything that disrupts your peace is an act of courage and faith. It is a bold step toward protecting the gifts God has placed within you and aligning with the purpose He has set for your life. But walking away isn't easy. It challenges the norms of loyalty, tests your resolve, and forces others to confront truths they'd rather avoid. Yet, in that act of letting go, there is extraordinary power. It is a declaration that your peace is sacred, your purpose is vital, and your faith is unyielding. As you take this step, you not only transform your own life, but also inspire those around you to reflect, to grow, and to seek God's truth. This is the journey of the chosen ones, a journey of courage, clarity, and unwavering trust in God's plan. And it begins with the simple yet profound act of walking away. Part 1. The power of protecting peace. Walking away from chaos is not just a reaction to difficult circumstances. It is a deliberate and profound decision that reflects the value you place on the peace God has given you. For those chosen by God, this action signifies an unwavering commitment to spiritual clarity and inner tranquility. Protecting your peace is not an act of selfishness, but a necessary step to maintain the sanctuary of your soul, ensuring that you remain aligned with God's purpose for your life. The decision to step away from dysfunction is rarely easy. It often requires leaving behind relationships, environments, or situations that have become familiar, even if they are harmful. This can be challenging because society frequently equates staying and enduring with loyalty or strength. However, when you prioritize your peace, you declare that your spiritual well-being is worth more than the temporary discomfort of leaving behind what no longer serves you. This act of walking away is a testament to your faith and trust in God's guidance. By removing yourself from chaos, you make space for God's voice to become clearer, enabling you to discern His will without interference from external noise. It is in these moments of solitude and peace that you can connect more deeply with Him and find the strength to continue walking in your purpose. Your decision to protect your peace sends a powerful message to those around you. It challenges them to reflect on their own actions and behaviors, as your absence creates a void that forces them to confront the realities they may have been avoiding. This ripple effect often leads others to question their role in the dysfunction and consider their own need for growth and change. Choosing peace over chaos is an act of courage. It requires you to trust that God will provide for you as you step away from situations that drain your energy and spirit. It is a reminder that you are not called to carry the burdens of others indefinitely, especially when doing so prevents you from fulfilling the mission God has placed on your life. Walking away is not about abandoning others. It is about honoring the life God has given you and ensuring that you remain a faithful steward of the gifts He has entrusted to you. This understanding transforms walking away from being seen as a weakness or failure into an act of strength and faith. It becomes a declaration of your commitment to God's purpose and a reflection of the peace that He has called you to protect at all costs. By prioritizing your peace, you position yourself to live a life that is not only fulfilling but also deeply aligned with the divine plan God has for you. Part 2. The ripple effect of walking away. When you make the choice to walk away from chaos and dysfunction, the impact of your decision often extends far beyond what you can immediately see. As one of God's chosen ones, your departure from toxic situations creates ripples that eventually turn into waves, disrupting the dynamics that perpetuate chaos. This act is not just a step toward reclaiming your peace, but a catalyst for change in the lives of those you leave behind. Your absence forces others to confront the realities they have long ignored or denied. Many people rely on the presence of others to shield them from their own shortcomings. They build lives around facades, manipulating circumstances to avoid accountability. When you remove yourself from these situations, their carefully constructed narratives often begin to crumble. This collapse is not caused by malice or spite, but by the undeniable truth your absence brings to light. Your departure acts as a mirror, reflecting the dysfunction that was once hidden behind distractions and excuses. The boldness of your choice often catches people off guard. Many assume that you, like others before you, would tolerate their behavior indefinitely. They may see your presence as a given, a constant that will always remain no matter the challenges or conflicts. However, when you finally say enough, the shock waves that follow are unavoidable. These ripples disrupt the cycles of manipulation, deceit, and chaos that have persisted for so long. It forces those involved to reevaluate their actions and consider the consequences of their choices. This ripple effect is part of the transformative power God has given you. Walking away is not an act of vengeance. It is an act of clarity. It demonstrates that you understand the value of your time, energy, and purpose. God has called you to live a life that aligns with His will, and staying in toxic environments detracts from that calling. By leaving, you create space for Him to work in the lives of those you leave behind. Sometimes, the void left by your departure becomes the very thing that motivates others to change. While the immediate reaction to your departure may be anger, resentment, or confusion, over time, many come to see the truth in your decision. Some may even admire your courage, though they may never admit it. Your choice to walk away from dysfunction demonstrates a strength that others often lack: the strength to prioritize your peace and the humility to trust God's plan over societal expectations. As these ripples expand, they reach people and situations you may not even realize. Others who witness your decision to walk away might be inspired to do the same in their own lives. Your action becomes a testimony, a silent yet powerful reminder that it is possible to choose peace over chaos. This influence extends far beyond the immediate situation, touching lives in ways you may never fully understand. Your departure also sets a precedent. It establishes a new standard for what you will and will not tolerate. This boundary setting is not about punishment but about preserving your own spiritual and emotional well-being. It sends a clear message that you will no longer participate in dynamics that drain your energy and detract from your purpose. By doing so, you challenge others to reevaluate their own boundaries and relationships, encouraging them to seek healthier and more fulfilling connections. The ripple effect of walking away is not always visible immediately, but its impact is undeniable. It disrupts the status quo, challenges long-held assumptions, and creates opportunities for growth and transformation. In choosing to walk away, you not only protect your own peace, but also become a catalyst for change in the lives of others, aligning yourself with God's greater purpose. Part 3. The importance of boundaries. Boundaries are one of the most vital tools God provides to protect your peace, purpose, and spiritual well-being. As one of God's chosen ones, you are called to establish and maintain these boundaries, not out of cruelty or indifference, but as a necessary act of love for yourself and obedience to God's will. Setting boundaries is not about isolating yourself. It is about creating a space where your spirit can thrive, free from the toxicity and chaos that often comes from unguarded relationships. For many, the concept of boundaries can feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable. Society often conditions us to believe that enduring hardship or dysfunction is a sign of loyalty or strength. Yet, as you grow in faith and wisdom, you begin to realize that not everyone deserves unrestricted access to your life. Some relationships and situations are not aligned with God's plan for you, and allowing them to persist only drains your energy and detracts from your mission. Boundaries, therefore, are not chains that restrict you. They are shields that protect your heart, mind, and spirit. When you enforce these boundaries, the reaction is often one of shock or disbelief. Many people do not recognize they have overstepped until you make it clear. Their surprise is not because they were unaware of their actions, but because they never imagined you would stand firm in your resolve. Some may have grown accustomed to you tolerating their behavior, assuming your patience was endless. Others may have underestimated your strength, believing you would always accommodate their dysfunction. The moment you define and enforce your boundaries, it sends a powerful message that you will no longer be a passive participant in their chaos. This act of establishing boundaries mirrors the teachings of Jesus. In Matthew 10 verse 14, Jesus instructs his disciples to shake the dust off their feet when leaving a place that does not welcome them. This simple yet profound act symbolizes the importance of moving on from situations that reject peace and truth. By walking away, You are not rejecting others out of spite. You are affirming your worth and preserving the gifts God has entrusted to you. Your peace, your purpose, and your energy are sacred, and they must be guarded against anything that seeks to diminish them. When you draw these lines, the impact is often immediate and transformative. Those who relied on your tolerance or emotional support are forced to confront the absence of it. This can create a ripple effect of self-reflection, as your decision highlights the boundaries they have neglected in their own lives. Some may feel resentment or anger, but others will recognize the strength it took for you to set those limits and may even be inspired to reevaluate their own relationships and behaviors. Enforcing boundaries also shifts the dynamics of your interactions. People who once took advantage of your kindness or manipulated your emotions are now faced with a new reality, one where you prioritize your well-being over their expectations. This shift often causes discomfort, as it exposes the imbalance in the relationship. However, this discomfort is necessary for growth, both for you and for those around you. It creates an opportunity for them to take responsibility for their actions and to seek change in their own lives. This process is not easy, and it often comes with moments of doubt or guilt. You may question whether setting boundaries is the right thing to do, especially if it causes others pain. But remember, your decision to protect your peace is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of faith. It reflects your trust in God's plan and your understanding that you cannot pour into others when your own spirit is depleted. By enforcing boundaries, you create the space necessary to nurture your relationship with God and to fulfill the purpose He has placed on your life. Your boundaries are not just about keeping dysfunction out. They are about keeping God's peace in. They allow you to focus on the mission He has given you without being distracted by unnecessary drama or negativity. They remind you that your energy and time are finite resources, and they must be spent wisely. By setting and maintaining boundaries, you honor the life God has called you to live, a life of purpose, clarity, and divine alignment. Ultimately, the importance of boundaries lies in their ability to protect your heart, your peace, and your relationship with God. They are a testament to your strength and faith, and they serve as a powerful example to others. By choosing to enforce boundaries, you not only guard your own spirit, but also encourage those around you to do the same, creating a ripple effect of growth and transformation. Part 4. Walking away as a divine act. Walking away from chaos and dysfunction is not merely a practical decision. It is a profound spiritual act rooted in obedience to God. As one of His chosen ones, you are called to live a life aligned with His divine purpose. This requires discernment to recognize when a situation no longer serves that purpose and courage to step away, trusting that God's plan will unfold as it should. Walking away is not about rejection or abandonment. It is about prioritizing the mission God has given you. The act of leaving can feel isolating, especially when it involves stepping away from people or circumstances that have been a significant part of your life. Yet, the Bible provides clear guidance on this matter. In Matthew 10 verse 14, Jesus instructs His disciples to shake the dust off their feet when leaving places that do not welcome or listen to them. This teaching emphasizes the importance of moving forward without carrying the burdens of rejection or resistance. By walking away, you are not rejecting others. You are affirming your commitment to God's path for your life. Your departure is not about creating distance for its own sake, but about making space for what truly matters. It allows you to refocus your energy and attention on what aligns with God's will. Staying in toxic or draining situations can distract you from your purpose, pulling you away from the clarity and peace that God desires for you. Walking away is an act of faith, trusting that God will guide you to environments and relationships that support your growth and mission. This decision often disrupts the expectations of those you leave behind. Many people expect you to remain in situations out of loyalty, obligation, or fear of causing discomfort. They may view your departure as a betrayal or an act of selfishness. However, their reactions are often rooted in their own struggles and insecurities. Your choice to walk away highlights dynamics they may prefer to ignore, forcing them to confront their own behavior and its consequences. Walking away also reflects a deep understanding of your own value and purpose. God has entrusted you with unique gifts, talents, and a mission that only you can fulfill. Staying in situations that drain your spirit or hinder your growth is not a reflection of love or faithfulness. It is a distraction from the life God has called you to lead. By stepping away, you honor the sacredness of your journey and reaffirm your trust in God's plan. This act of walking away is not without challenges. It may come with feelings of guilt or uncertainty, especially when it impacts people you care about. However, it is important to remember that walking away is not about punishing others, but about protecting the peace and purpose God has placed within you. It is an act of stewardship, ensuring that you remain faithful to the calling God has given you. In walking away, you also set an example for others. Your decision becomes a testimony of strength and faith, showing that it is possible to prioritize peace and purpose over chaos and dysfunction. It encourages those around you to reflect on their own lives and consider the changes they need to make to align with God's will. This ripple effect can inspire transformation, even among those who initially resist or criticize your decision. By walking away, you align yourself with the biblical principle of guarding your heart. Proverbs 4 verse 23 reminds us, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Protecting your peace and purpose is not a sign of weakness but of wisdom and spiritual maturity. It allows you to focus on the mission God has given you, free from distractions and negativity. Ultimately, walking away is a declaration of faith. It is a reminder that your peace, purpose, and relationship with God are worth protecting at all costs. By choosing to leave behind what no longer serves you, you step into a life of greater alignment with God's will, trusting that He will guide you to the people and places that are meant for your journey. This act of faith is not only transformative for you, but also serves as a powerful witness to others of God's presence and purpose in your life. Part 5. The silence of walking away. The decision to walk away is often misunderstood, especially when done in silence. However, for those chosen by God, silence is not a sign of weakness but a demonstration of profound strength and clarity. When you choose not to argue, explain, or engage with the chaos around you, you communicate a message that words cannot convey. This quiet departure is a reflection of your trust in God's guidance and your commitment to preserving the peace He has placed within you. Silence can be one of the most disarming tools in your spiritual arsenal. Those who thrive on chaos, manipulation, or conflict often rely on engagement to fuel their schemes. They expect arguments, defenses, and justifications that keep you entangled in their web. When you respond with silence, you deny them the power to twist your words, distort your intentions, or pull you back into their storm. Your refusal to engage becomes a statement. You are no longer available to participate in their dysfunction. This silence is not passive, it is deliberate and decisive. It reflects a deep understanding that not every battle is yours to fight, and not every accusation requires a response. In Proverbs 17 verse 28, we are reminded, "Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues." Your silence is not an act of surrender, but an act of discernment, choosing to protect your peace rather than expend energy on conflicts that do not align with God's purpose for your life. For those left behind, your silence can be deeply unsettling. It forces them to confront their own actions and motivations without the distraction of a debate or explanation. In many cases, they are left with nothing to hold on to, no words to twist, no reactions to manipulate, no energy to feed their chaos. This void often causes discomfort, as it reveals the truth they may have been avoiding. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting their behavior and challenging them to take responsibility for their actions. Silence also serves as a boundary. It establishes that your energy and attention are sacred and not to be taken for granted. By refusing to engage in unnecessary conflict, you reinforce the message that you value your peace and purpose above all else. This boundary protects you from being drawn into situations that drain your spirit and distract you from the mission God has placed on your life. For the chosen ones, silence is also an act of faith. It demonstrates your trust in God's ability to handle what you cannot. Rather than fighting battles on your own, you place the situation in His hands, knowing that He will bring justice and clarity in His time. This surrender is not a sign of defeat, but a testament to your belief that God's wisdom far exceeds human understanding. In Exodus 14 verse 14, we are reminded, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Your silence reflects this truth, allowing God to work in ways you cannot see. Choosing silence does not mean you are indifferent or apathetic. It is a conscious decision to prioritize your peace and focus on what truly matters. Silence allows you to maintain your dignity and integrity, refusing to be drawn into the chaos of others. It is a reminder that your worth is not determined by how well you argue or defend yourself, but by your alignment with God's purpose and your commitment to His will. For those observing your silence, the impact can be profound. It challenges societal norms that equate confrontation with strength and endurance with loyalty. Your quiet departure serves as a powerful testimony of the strength it takes to walk away without a word, trusting that your actions speak louder than anything you could say. It inspires others to consider the value of their own peace and the power of choosing silence in the face of conflict. Ultimately, the silence of walking away is an act of wisdom, faith, and self-preservation. It protects your peace, guards your heart, and aligns you more closely with God's plan. In choosing silence, you demonstrate a strength that transcends words, a strength rooted in your identity as one of God's chosen ones. This quiet resolve not only transforms your life, but also sets an example for others, showing them the beauty and power of trusting God to handle what is beyond their control. Part 6. Catalyst for Self-Reflection. Walking away as one of God's chosen ones does more than protect your peace. It serves as a profound catalyst for self-reflection in the lives of those you leave behind. Your absence creates a void, a space where people are confronted with the reality of their actions and the consequences of their behavior. This moment of reckoning often forces them to examine the patterns they have been avoiding and the truth they have been unwilling to face. For many, your departure becomes a mirror, without your presence to absorb or deflect their chaos. They are left to see the cracks in their carefully constructed facades. These individuals may have relied on your energy, patience, and tolerance to sustain their dysfunction. When you step away, they can no longer escape accountability for their actions. This can be an uncomfortable process, as it disrupts their narrative and forces them to confront the gaps they have worked so hard to hide. This confrontation is not something you orchestrate. It is a natural consequence of walking away. Your decision to leave, grounded in faith and clarity, reveals a strength that challenges the status quo. It shifts the dynamics of the relationship, placing the responsibility for change squarely on their shoulders. While some may react with anger, denial, or blame, others may begin to recognize the need for growth and transformation in their own lives. The ripple effect of your departure often extends beyond the immediate situation. Those who observe your actions may be inspired to reflect on their own relationships and circumstances. Your willingness to prioritize peace and purpose over dysfunction sets a powerful example, encouraging others to evaluate what they are tolerating in their own lives. This silent testimony can spark a chain reaction of self-awareness and change, touching lives you may not even realize. For those directly affected by your decision, the impact can be even more profound. Without the safety net of your support, they are forced to take a closer look at the behaviors and choices that led to your departure. This can be a pivotal moment in their journey, as they grapple with the discomfort of self-reflection. Some may choose to grow, using this opportunity to address their shortcomings and seek healthier ways of relating to others. Others may resist, clinging to old patterns out of fear or pride. Regardless of their response, your departure serves as a catalyst that cannot be ignored. This process is not without its challenges. The reactions of those you leave behind may range from gratitude to resentment, and you may never witness the full impact of your decision. However, it is important to remember that your role is not to fix or change others. Your responsibility is to walk in alignment with God's purpose, trusting that He will use your actions to bring about His will in their lives. In many cases, the void left by your absence becomes a space where God can work. Without the distractions of conflict and chaos, individuals are more likely to hear His voice and seek His guidance. Your decision to walk away creates an opportunity for them to turn inward, reflect on their choices, and consider how they can grow closer to God. While this transformation is ultimately their responsibility, your departure often serves as the catalyst that sets it in motion. This dynamic is reminiscent of the story of the prodigal son in Luke 15 verses 11 to 32. The son had to reach a point of complete loss and self-reflection before he could recognize the need for change and return to his father. Similarly, your departure may serve as a wake-up call for those who have taken your presence for granted or relied on you to shield them from the consequences of their actions. By stepping away, you allow them to confront their reality and begin the process of transformation. While this journey of self-reflection can be difficult for those left behind, it is ultimately an act of love. By removing yourself from the situation, you encourage them to take ownership of their lives and seek growth in ways they may not have considered otherwise. Your decision to walk away is not a rejection of them, but a recognition of your own worth and purpose, as well as a trust in God's plan for their lives and yours. In the end, walking away becomes a powerful tool for change, not just for yourself, but for those around you. It challenges them to reflect on their actions, consider the impact of their choices, and seek a deeper connection with God. While the outcome of this self-reflection is ultimately beyond your control, your decision to prioritize peace and purpose serves as a beacon of hope and transformation, pointing the way toward a life of clarity, growth, and alignment with God's will. Part 7. Alignment with God's plan. Walking away from chaos and dysfunction is not simply an act of self-preservation. It is a profound step toward aligning yourself with God's divine plan for your life. As one of His chosen ones, your purpose requires clarity, focus, and peace. Remaining in toxic situations drains the energy and spirit needed to fulfill the mission God has entrusted to you. By stepping away, you create space for His guidance, protection, and blessings to flow into your life. This alignment begins with the recognition that not every battle is yours to fight. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 4 verses 25 to 26, "Let your eyes look straight ahead, fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in all your ways." When you walk away from dysfunction, you redirect your focus from distractions to the path God has set before you. This requires not only faith but also discipline, as the pull of past relationships and situations can be strong. Yet, trusting in God's purpose gives you the strength to move forward. Your departure from toxic environments is not about abandoning others. It is about obedience to God. Sometimes, walking away is the most loving thing you can do, not only for yourself but for those you leave behind. It forces them to take responsibility for their own growth and behavior. While it may be painful, this separation allows God to work in their lives in ways that your presence may have hindered. Just as Jesus withdrew to pray in solitude, you are called to step away to maintain your connection with God and preserve your ability to serve Him fully. Walking away is also a declaration of self-worth. It is an acknowledgement that you are a child of God, deserving of relationships and circumstances that uplift and nurture your spirit. Staying in situations that deplete you is not an act of love or loyalty. It is a denial of the abundant life God has promised you. By choosing to leave, you affirm your faith in His plan and your belief that He will provide for you in ways far greater than you could imagine. This act of obedience often leads to transformation, not just for you but for those around you. Your willingness to prioritize peace and purpose sets an example for others, inspiring them to reevaluate their own lives. It shows that strength lies not in enduring chaos, but in choosing clarity, growth, and alignment with God's will. This influence may ripple out in ways you cannot see, touching lives and encouraging change even among those who resisted initially. The process of walking away is not without its challenges. Society often equates staying with loyalty and leaving with selfishness, creating a false narrative that can lead to guilt or doubt. However, the Bible offers countless examples of individuals who had to leave behind what was familiar to step into their God-given purpose. Abraham left his homeland, the disciples left their livelihoods, and even Jesus walked away from crowds to seek solitude with God. These actions were not acts of rejection, but of alignment with divine will. In walking away, you also open the door to God's blessings. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1 reminds us, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." By recognizing when a season has ended, you position yourself to step into the new opportunities and relationships God has prepared for you. This forward movement is not a loss but a gain, a chance to grow, to heal, and to draw closer to the life God has designed for you. Your departure may not always be understood by others. Some may misinterpret your actions as a rejection of them rather than a step toward your own purpose. Yet, as one of God's chosen ones, you are not called to seek validation from people, but to walk faithfully in obedience to Him. Romans 12 verse 2 encourages us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Walking away is an act of transformation, a declaration that you will not be bound by societal expectations or toxic dynamics. The act of leaving is not just about the past, but about the future. It is a step toward the freedom and abundance God has promised. By shedding what no longer serves you, you make room for His grace to flow into your life in extraordinary ways. This obedience allows you to step into alignment with the person God has called you to become, fulfilling your purpose with clarity and strength. The power of choosing peace. In the end, walking away is more than a single act. It is a declaration of who you are and whose you are. It is a bold affirmation that your peace is non-negotiable, your purpose is sacred, and your trust in God is unshakable. Every step you take away from chaos is a step closer to the life He has designed for you, a life filled with clarity, abundance, and divine alignment. As you move forward, remember that your choice to walk away is not a retreat, but a testament to your strength. It is a call to action for those around you to reflect, to grow, and to rise above the dysfunction they may have clung to for too long. And as you leave behind what no longer serves you, you light the way for others to follow, a quiet, unwavering beacon of God's grace, love, and purpose. So, with every door you close, trust that He will open one far greater. With every goodbye, know that you are saying hello to a future shaped by His divine hand. Walk boldly, chosen one, for your path is not just yours to walk. It is a message, a legacy, a reflection of the God who calls you to greater things.